Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This video is either going to be titled one of two things. Either I joined a cult or Christian death camp. Yes, I know how different those two things sound, but I assure you they're both the same thing. So if you've been following my channel for a long time, you would know that I'm like a die-hard Christian. I worship Jesus and pray every day. I go to church every Sunday. I help run a Bible study class for the youth in my community, and I even let my priest jizz in my asshole once a week. Yeah, I am not Christian in the absolute slightest. If you actually believe me when I said that, you might have mental disabilities. But anyways, some of you may be wondering how I could possibly not be Christian, given that I come from an all-white middle-class Christian family that lives in the suburbs of Burbank, California. It's honestly remarkable that I'm not Christian. I have no idea how I did it. But honestly, this story is probably the main reason why I'm actually not Christian. And don't worry, this isn't going to be some kind of rant of why I'm not Christian or something like that. I mean, I don't give a fuck if you're Christian, Mormon, atheist. I mean, if it gives you pleasure seeing your 5-year-old son get fucked by a priest, all power to you. It's a joke, people, okay? You don't have to be religious to enjoy watching your 5-year-old son get fucked by a priest. Alright, I'm going way too far with this. But for real, I honestly do not care what your religious beliefs are, and that's not the point of this video, okay? And with that out of the way, let's get into it. So this happened to me back in 8th grade, and I was a pretty normal kid in 8th grade. I liked girls, I hated school, I played Xbox, and I was also in a Christian death cult. Okay, but before we talk about how I was in a cult, we gotta talk about my friends. So you know how back in high school and middle school, how you used to have like a lot more friends than you do now? Like your friend group used to be so big back then that there'd be some people in the friend group that you would just be like, why the fuck are you here? And you guys know who I'm talking about. That person who doesn't really have any friends, so they kind of just linger around your friend group, and you do your best to ignore them and pretend that they're not there, but every once in a while, that person will decide to tell a joke or just say something, and you'll be like, what? You're still here? Why haven't you killed yourself yet? You have no friends, you linger around our friend group when we clearly don't want you to, your own mother and father probably don't love you. I mean, please God, kill yourself, it's pathetic looking at you. And you guys know who I'm talking about. And yes, it's a little sad because they really have no friends and they probably do think about killing themselves, but the fact of the matter is, they're a little annoying. Yes, their own parents probably despise them and wish they were never born, and I would feel sad for them, but they're also annoying and a bit of an inconvenience to me, so I don't feel bad for them. Yes, I know I'm a fucked up person, okay? So why did I just talk about this? It's because I had one of those friends in 8th grade named Casey, and I never paid too much attention to Casey, and I never really liked Casey, again, because he was either invisible to me or a slight inconvenience. But you see, Casey liked me, not in like a penis way, okay? He liked me as a friend. And you see, in Casey's head, I was actually his best friend. And I mean, that's pretty sad because honestly, there were days where I completely forgot Casey existed, even though he was standing like 5 feet away from me the entire day. Look, if you think I'm a jerk right now and that I'm going too hard, it's because he ended up fucking me. Again, not in a penis way, in like a fucked me over kind of way, okay? So normally, I would just try to ignore Casey the best I could, and honestly, I would just forget he was there most of the times. But this one day, I ended up walking to school alone, and Casey ended up coming behind me. Coming behind me? Really? I'm on a fucking penis roll right now. But anyways, Casey comes up behind me and he starts ranting about like how horrible his life is and shit. And I mean, I was trying to ignore him, but then I heard him say something, and this is what I heard. My life sucks. I have no friends. Everyone hates me. My own parents despise me, and they even bought me tickets to this music festival, but I know it's just so that I'll get out of the house so they don't have to see me. And when I heard him ranting about how miserable his life was, I stopped him and I was like, oh my God, Casey, are you serious? You got tickets to the festival? You see, in Los Angeles at this time, there was this huge music festival about to go on, and it had the biggest artist on the planet at that time. I'm talking like G-Eazy, Drake, Kendrick, all the biggest artists. And so when I heard Casey say this, I was like, what? You got tickets to this? And Casey was like, yeah, I got 2 tickets. Do you want to come with me? And listen, okay? Yes, I hated Casey. Yes, he was a bit annoying. No, I did not give a single fuck about him. But did I want to see Champagne Poppy's cute face? You bet your fucking balls I did. God, I sounded so white right there. And so me and Casey talk about it a little bit more, and Casey's like, cool, me and my parents will pick you up at 5 at the night of the festival. And I was like, cool. Tickets costed hundreds of dollars for this festival. I didn't think I was going to be able to go, and so I was pretty excited. But what I didn't realize was that Casey was fucking insane, and I was about to be going to a cult ritual where they were going to be sacrificing small children to the gods. Okay, I gotta a little ahead of myself. They did not sacrifice small children, okay? So the night of the festival, Casey texted me and he's like, make sure you're wearing all white. I heard you have to wear all white to get in this festival. And I thought it was a little strange and a little weird because I hadn't heard anything about having to wear all white, and how could they possibly enforce that? So I leave my house and I get in Casey's car, and I mean, I got an all white everything. I'm talking white shoes, white shirt, white hoodie, white pants. Don't ask me why I had white pants. I was a fruity kid, okay? And so we start driving, and after not a long time of driving, we eventually got to the venue. And keep in mind, this is gonna be a huge festival. Thousands upon thousands of people are gonna be here, and the biggest stars in the world are performing. And so we get to the venue, and I'm expecting to see just a mob of people next to the biggest stage I've ever seen in my entire life. And I look out my window, and I see a stage the size of Harry Potter's bedroom on top of a fucking church parking lot. And so right then and there, I knew I was fucked. But before I could be like, hey man, you know, I think we got the wrong place here. I don't know if Drake would be performing on top of a church parking lot. Casey's parents immediately kicked us out of the car and said, have fun, guys. And just when I started thinking, you know, I'm probably not going to the festival I thought I was going to, and I started questioning where the fuck I was and why there was a stage outside of a church, I looked over at the stage and I saw a group of like 200 to 250 people wearing all white walking over to the stage. Now, when you hear that, you might think it's weird, but you know, it's not alarming or anything. But let me repeat what I just said with some added context, and then let's see how you feel. Now, keep in mind, I live in Burbank, and let's just say, you know, Burbank isn't the most diverse place in the world. You know, we don't got a whole lot of Asians or Hispanics or Middle Eastern people, but we do have a shit ton of white people. And so keep that in mind, and also keep this next thing in mind. You know, it was a chilly day that night we were going to the festival, so a lot of the people I saw going to the stage had hoodies with their hoods up. Are you starting to understand what I'm saying here? Now, let's backtrack and put everything I've said together. So I got out of Casey's car and I looked at the stage and I saw around 200 white people wearing all white with hoods on, walking to some sort of Christian festival or rally outside of a church. Are you understanding what I'm saying here? 200 white people wearing white hoods walking to a rally. So let's just say there was a bit of Django Unchained action going on here. You know what I mean? I thought I was at a fucking KKK rally. And so I start freaking the fuck out. I'm like taking off my clothes and shit, and I look at Casey and I'm like, where the fuck did you take me? I'm not like this, okay? Like, what the fuck's going on here? And Casey's looking at me like trying to take off all like the white clothes I'm wearing, and he's like, what do you mean, bro? There's one of these festivals every week. And I'm still freaking the fuck out. I'm sweating and shit, and I'm yelling, I think every race is equal, bro. I'm not like this. I don't want to be here. And Casey's looking at me confused as fuck, and he stops me and he's like, what are you talking about, bro? Come on, get a grip. We have to find our seats. Elton John's about to perform. And I was like, what? Elton John's a racist? Okay, pause. Obviously, this wasn't an actual KKK rally going on near Los Angeles. But for a couple of seconds, I legitimately thought it was. And even though I thought this might be a KKK rally, I also wasn't gonna miss an Elton John performance. It's a joke, people. I came to my senses and realized that I had misread the situation and sat down and waited for Elton John to perform in a church parking lot. I can't believe I believed Casey when he said one of the biggest stars of all time was about to perform outside of a church. And so me and Casey sit down and the event begins, and you know, I expected this to be like church or something, but then this guy came out on stage and he was like, how we doing, my fellow Christians? And then everyone in the audience started yelling back and was like, fuck yeah, we're doing good, let's go, bring out the kid. And I'm sitting here like, bring out the kid? What the fuck is going on here? Are we about to sacrifice a child child on stage. And then after hearing this, the guy on stage goes, "Yeah, you want the fucking kid? Well, here you go. Everyone, please give a round of applause to Elton John, better known as Jesus John." And all of a sudden, this 20-year-old kid walks out on stage with an electric keyboard, and everyone starts losing their shit. And I'm like confused as fuck, and I'm like, huh? Is this like the new kid Elton John is fucking? Like, what's going on here? And the kid gets up on stage, and he's like, "What's up, everyone? How we doing? I'm Jesus John, and here we go." Okay, so obviously this kid is like an Elton John cover artist, and keep in mind, I came here with the expectation of seeing Drake, and then my expectation got even higher when Casey said Elton John would be performing. But hey, if the kid's gonna go out there and play me some Elton John songs, I'm not complaining, okay? And so this kid starts playing Rocket Man, and I'm feeling it. I mean, how could you not be feeling Rocket Man? Like, this kid would have had to be absolutely horrendous for me not to be feeling it. And that's exactly what he did. You see, the song starts building up, and we're getting to the chorus, and I'm getting pumped. And I mean, everyone knows how the Rocket Man chorus goes. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I mean, I'm getting pumped waiting for this chorus, and it finally drops, and I hear this. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till Jesus comes down from heaven. He's the man we've been waiting for. Oh no, 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 I'm a Jesus man. And when I heard what this kid had done to one of the greatest songs of all time, I was this close from running up on stage and making this kid meet Jesus. And I'm sitting here either about to kill myself or this kid, and meanwhile everyone around me was loving it. And finally he stopped playing Rocket Man, and everyone claps, and then he's like, "Alright everyone, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Now it's time to move on to a more emotional song. I hope you all enjoy." And he starts playing Tiny Dancer, and I'm sitting there like, you better not fucking ruin this song. I have cried to this song before. This song is a fucking masterpiece. You cannot ruin this for me. And literally the first thing that came out of his mouth was, "I love Jesus, you do too." And when I heard that, I wanted to get a cross and crucify this motherfucker. And as I'm looking for a cross, I notice everyone is like vibing with the music. And the reason I say vibing was because I do not know how else to describe what they were doing. It was like they got possessed by a demon. Every single person in the audience had their right hand on their heart and their left hand pointed to the sky at a 45-degree angle. I'm gonna say that again. Their right hand was on their heart and their left hand was pointed at a 45-degree angle towards the sky. If you still don't get it, most people point their arm at a 45-degree angle towards the sky and say this two-word phrase, Heil. And keep in mind, we're still all wearing all white, and most people have their hoods up. If the police saw this, they would immediately open fire. And I see this shit going on, and I look over at Casey to be like, what the fuck is going on? What kind of evil Hitler ghost has possessed these people? And I look over at Casey, and he's fucking doing it too. And not only is he doing it, but he's also crying. And it wasn't just him. A lot of people started crying to this man on stage singing, "I love Jesus." And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is going on? And right in that moment, when I saw a group of 200 Christians wearing white hoods with their left arm pointed at a 45-degree angle, that was the end of Christianity for me. And so finally this guy finishes playing Tiny Dancer, and he's like, "I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. Do we got any non-believers in the crowd tonight?" And I was so fed up at this point that I made the mistake of raising my hand. And when you say you're a non-believer around die-hard Christians, they look at you like you just shot up their son's school. Instantly, right after I said that, I had like 30 people from the crowd run over to me and try to convert me. And this lasted for like 5 minutes of people just ranting to me about why I should be Christian. And then one of the guys trying to convert me said, "How could you not believe in Jesus? He died for your sins." And I was so fed up at this point after having to listen to Tiny Jesus and Rocket Jesus that I looked at this man directly in the face and I said, "Look, man, if I was Jesus and I died for people's sins just so that in a couple of thousands of years down the line, my followers would go to a Christian music festival dressed like the KKK saluting Hitler, I would start humanity over." Needless to say, me and Casey left immediately after that. And after that night, I never once talked to Casey again, and I've never been in a church since. Listen, there was a lot of things said in this video, but the moral of this story is don't hang out with your loser friends. They're part of a cult. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Can you fat asses get off of your goddamn couch and subscribe to my channel? Thank you.